Hi, I wanted to talk to you today about a new program that the Department of Homeland Security is enacting. It's called the Protected Critical Infrastructure Information Program. Try and say that one a couple times. PCII. Basically what it is it's a program asking all the private owners of businesses that have infrastructure that's important to the United States give up all of their information to the government. The reason for this, of course, ... Homeland Security. That's right, we need to be protected. So all these private businesses are now being asked to share all this very, private and business secrets with the government. Well, as you can imagine, businesses are not crazy about this. It's not like our government has had the best track record of keeping secrets or keeping information, and they don't trust him. So basically, they're saying that if there was going to be a terrorist threat, again, I'm sorry, it's starting to sound like a witch hunt every time I turn around. It's like, oh, there's another witch. Oh, there's another witch. Okay, if there's a terrorist threat, they would need to be able to access this very important infrastructure quickly. And if they already have all your information, what chemicals you're using, where all the ins and outs are, whatnot, then they'd be able to do that better and more efficiently. I mean, that kind of sounds like it's okay, except I guess honestly, I have to just go back to Ben Franklin. They say we're living in a different world, and we certainly are, because when I grew up, we had never had an attack on our homeland. And we lived good lives. I mean, maybe because the internet wasn't around and information wasn't as able to be shared and the truth then discerned, maybe there's a lot of naivete going on there also. But Ben Franklin was right. This whole, every law that they're passing and now this, and I mean, maybe it is just to make sure we're secure, but it's also a way to completely take over all the infrastructure in America if you didn't trust your government. And I guess that's where it goes down to, is like, I honestly don't know when anything's a lie anymore, or what is the truth that I hear out of politicians' mouths and the mainstream news. They'll say something and I actually have to stop and wonder, is this the truth? Is any of this the truth? And what part of it is the truth? Because they lie by omission, for one, and then they lie because they have to, because of the corporations that own them. Like that guy Turk from the Young Turks, he tried to talk some real truth, and they kicked him off his show, and he had a high-rated show. He's really popular. So they don't really let you tell the truth. They'll maybe let you tell little bits of truth, or they'll make you into a freak like they did with Glenn Beck, who maybe is something freakish, but obviously had his own, truths that he wanted to get out there and share. Anyway, I mean, we've got these smart meters that they're putting in to spy on what people are using here. We've got this facial recognition stuff that Facebook's putting in for our own good, to help us get deals. And everywhere you turn, what we know is privacy. And I'll link this. This is actually from a year ago. I found it. I happened to see it, that you're actually considered a threat, a terrorist threat, if you use privacy controls on things like Facebook and other social networks. They consider that suspicious. I mean, didn't that used to be part of being free? That you could have a private life, that it was none of your business? You can't walk in my door without a search warrant because we're free and we have private lives, and they must be honored and respected. And that's what's going on. There's no honor and there's no respect anymore for the people. And obviously the people don't have it for their government either. So I don't know what the answer to this is. I'm just going on and on. But I do know that at some point, we have to fight these little battles like this, the new PCII and the next internet bill that'll come through and everything that we continually have to fight to stay free. But I personally, and I would really like to hear your feelings on this, I personally would be fine with going back to all the pre-9/11 stuff and taking my chances with a terrorist hit. And I live in LA. I'm in one of the areas that probably has a big red star in it to, like, if you want to hit the United States and Hollywood and, rich and famous and that whole deal. So I'm not talking, I wasn't in New York, so forgive me if I don't sound solemn enough. I understand that was horrible. But we've now gone and fought wars where we've lost more than we lost in the Twin Tower Terrorist Act. And our lives on the whole have been invaded by our government in the name of protecting us. And I just say, I don't need it. I don't want it. You don't need to protect me like this. If you really want to protect me, get out of all the other countries that we've got our fingers in their pies and bring everybody home. Build a big darn shield or something, Let's be independent. Let's take care of America. But this witch hunt that's going on now, because really, folks, that's what it is. It's a witch hunt. Every time you turn around, somebody else is being called a terrorist, domestic terrorist. Now veterans, the very people that went and fought for us to be free, that we should, I constantly thank them whenever I see them. They're on the threat list. That's disgusting. So I think that the only way we can really fix it is to make a national decision that we'd rather live with the threat of something happening to us and actually live, instead of being in these shackles that they're putting on us in the guise of us being protected. And isn't that really what the forefathers were trying to tell us with the two-party system? Man, stay away from that because it ends up being the same party, which it is. Or they're going to trick you and say, we're doing this to help you. We're doing it for your security. And really, I didn't used to be so critical. I didn't used to believe in conspiracy theories. But the fact is, now that you can actually go and check things up for yourself on the internet and find out what the truth is this is another witch hunt. And we're all considered witches. So any one of us could be on the chopping block. And I don't like living like this. This isn't the kind of life I want to live. I don't want to be free like this. I don't want to be protected like this. It's kind of like a parent that says, don't go out. Something can happen to you if you walk out of the house. Well, if you don't walk out of the house, you don't get to live. So you can't fix all the ways that people can get hurt or we could get hurt. Yellowstone could go and it could blow up half the country. There's no way to protect against that. The grid, which is a real threat against an EMP, it's a real threat that we could get thrown back with some major solar pulse, which is definitely coming. Our shields are down, our magnetic shields are down. We are getting more solar flares coming in and we're not protected from it. That would send us back to Middle Ages, no electricity, no cars running. But we're not even talking about that. And I would, I don't know the statistics on this, but I'm pretty sure that a terrorist hit and an EMP are pretty equal. All I'm saying is, I want to live my life. And I want to be free again. I don't want to be groped at the TSA. I don't want to have to give up all my information to the government like they're a dictatorship if I own a business. And I don't want drones flying over my head anymore. And I don't want my kids to have to be vaccinated if I don't want them to be. And this is all being done in the name of our protection. So at some point, I guess we're just going to have to say, I'm willing to risk it for a better life. And anyway, I'm going to link this information on the PCII Check it out for yourself. They have a nice little film that sounds very convincing on why your business should join up with it and give all your information to the Department of Homeland Security. But I would love your comments. And oh, wow, I have certainly gone on and on, huh? Well, thanks for listening to me. And now, as I said, I'd really like your comments. How do you feel? And thank you so much always for watching, and have a wonderful night, everybody.